How's it going, fellow YouTubers and dirt riders, whether you're a dual sport rider or an adventure rider? You know, we all share the same passion. So just figured today would be just a talking day. You know, why not? So, as you can see, I got a lot of stickers on my XR650R, and you'll soon will see a review on installing a Recluse EXP 3.0 clutch system into this bike. I'm kind of testing a few things out before I go ahead and show that video. I want to make sure I get it down right because we're installing a very important component into the bike, and I don't want people to mess up their motorcycle should I show you incorrectly. So I want to make sure I have it in, which it's in right now, dialed in, running, working. I'm kind of touching base with Recluse, going back and forth, because there's a few things in the directions that they might be improving on. So try to do my part there to make sure no one messes up their bike. So anyways, I got a lot of stickers on this plate, and they all mean different things to me, really. First, I'll start with Motorcycle Relief Project. They're an awesome group that helps veterans. If you're a veteran, look into them. They do PTSD counseling at the end of each ride, and their rides are not hardcore. A lot of their riders aren't even dirt riders. They're getting on to BMW, whether it's a GS 1200, 800, 650. I forget the range of bikes he has, but he has pretty much one of everything I think BMW makes. And they just go out on graded dirt roads and enjoy themselves and just get that bonding experience riding with other veterans that have the same issues, and then going and talking about those issues afterwards. So it's a very good program. It's 100% free for the veteran, so which means it takes a lot of money to pull something off like that. So if you can, go over to their website, and you can Google Motorcycle Relief Project and find their website really easy. They have a Facebook page too, and go to the donation link, and if you can, donate something. If you're a part of a company that's watching this, see if your company will give. They are a 501c, so it is also a tax write-off. Now we have also TrailTaker, which I'm a part of, co-founder of, and we're out there mapping trails and trying to bring you those GPX tracks in a usable format. We have a huge thing going on right now where we're working on incorporating, it's going to depend on what we pull out of the file that we have from the Forest Service, but we are converting over roughly 320,000 Forest Service roads, and they will be converted over to a usable GPX format that you can then click on the trail, download. You also will see information like what's allowed on that road. I mean, there's so much information in their files. It's just that no one can use the file format that it's in. Luckily, my co-partner Richard, that's his kind of specialty. He's a programmer, and he messes with GPS files and knows how to go in and get that information out of their file format and then convert it over and make it usable. So hey, we're going to be the only site that really has that, because that's a very unique skill set he has, which is working out really great, as you could imagine. So, then awesome players, hey guys, awesome guys in Canada. I love their YouTube channel. That's why I support it. Really for no other reason. I just think their channel's funny. They just seem like a great group of guys out there having fun, and that's what it's about. So I would love to ride with them sometime. And then, of course, Stay the Trail, Colorado. We really try to emphasize always stay the trail. it's sometimes really hard to do, but one big no-no, don't make your own trail. I mean, it's one thing if the trail's like well worn and you really don't know if that's a legal trail, but you know, at least you're on that really worn path. Just don't go be like, hey, I want to go up that hill and go up that hill. Now that's pretty stupid. We get trails closed down for that, and some areas are better marked than others for, you know, what the trail number is, what's allowed on it. You know, in some areas you don't have that questionable, like, is that a social trail or a legit trail? And when you're riding along, it's hard to even, when you get their maps, even especially the Forest Service maps, to know where you're at on their map. They're pretty useless, and that goes back to why we're mapping trails and trail systems. And we have certified trail systems at TrailTaker.com right now that we have mapped. And because most people that I know run GPS units. Now, if you're a pure dirt rider, you probably don't have a GPS unit. The dual sport guys and the adventure guys tend to have GPS units. So they're the ones that are going to want to download the tracks, and it's free. Can't beat that, right? It's free. And you can upload tracks too. Again, it's free. You know, we get paid on ads. So, and believe me, we've made, because we haven't really pushed the website, we've only made probably like $1. So it's all out of our pockets right now, getting that started. And we don't know where exactly we're gonna 100% take that as far as how we generate a revenue. But you know, I definitely don't want too many ads on the site, because I hate that as a consumer going to a website and seeing a fucking ton of ads. So, you know, we're going to keep that in mind, and we're going to try down the road when we do have some income coming in, make that more of related to the tracks, meaning like if Bike Bandit wants to advertise, or Performance Cycle, or Rocky Mountain ATV/motorcycle wants to advertise, we would much rather prefer to have their banners on our site than Google just tossing up banners and, you know, putting a Jiffy Lube banner on there that doesn't mean much to us. You know, so I feel for you guys if you're looking at our site and you're like, hey, these ads don't make any sense. Sorry, that's just for the time being. We hope to improve on that later. As for the other stickers, IMS, they've helped me out. They've been great company. You know, from the owner, talk to the owner. They might be coming out to a rendezvous. I haven't quite heard back. Wolfman Luggage, they've been awesome. Also with Rocky Mountain Adventure Riders and just supporting various events through the years. So I support them. KLIM, obviously I'm kind of a KLIM guy, I guess you would say. I help them out, promote some of their products, talk to people, you know, about the products, do little reviews. And so, you know, kind of disclaimer, I've been getting more involved in that. So initially I haven't really been saying, hey, KLIM, you know, sponsored me for this or that and gave me this, because I wasn't sure how to touch on it. It wasn't like I was trying to hide the fact. Everyone that knows me knows when I'm at an event, I'm more than open about my relationships with various vendors and stuff. And I'm not one to hide that. It's just, I just, you know, so you'll see me more as time goes on and with my videos say, hey, look, you know, KLIM gave me a jersey or whatever. You know, I ride a lot, and mainly they give me that not because of YouTube, which some other YouTubers that are well known wonder like, how do I get this stuff, but it's because I talk about it, and that's the thing. And not necessarily YouTube. I talk about it at the trailhead. I talk about it if I'm at an event. I talk about it when I'm just out and about. I mean, whatever. I mean, if they give me a stack of discount cards, whether it's KLIM, Pit Posse, whoever, I'm trying to think of some of the others, but I'm the guy at the gas station that will see 2 bikes on the back of a truck, and I will walk over and say, hey, do you like, oh, you do? Or you've never heard of them? Here, let me give you a card and you try them out. I'm not getting paid, but occasionally they throw me a free jersey or pants or something. So I guess in a way I'm compensated, but really, the much work I put into it, I am not compensated. I just do it mainly because I'm a nice guy. I probably go way out of my way more than most would. And I think that's why the companies that I have done stuff with understand that, and they do support. And that's how I can relate all my activities back to TrailTaker. And the Recluse system is actually a sponsorship from Recluse to TrailTaker, in part because of what I have done and what I continue to do in supporting a company. Like, something doesn't match up right in the directions, I go back to them and say, hey, this doesn't match up. I mean, really, honestly, most people would be expecting a paycheck. I'm just happy to provide that information. Got a free unit, and just try to help them improve. I mean, maybe at some point a company will say, hey, we really want you. I don't know if I would do that or not, because I really believe in TrailTaker. I'm sorry to keep saying that, but I really do. So that leads me over to, do you say SENA? SENA? I still haven't figured that one out. Everyone I meet says it differently. So, and it probably depends, because I've lived all around the world, how you pronounce the E and the A in that. So, again, they're a sponsor of TrailTaker, and, they've really set us up, and that works out really good. And, they have some good products. They have products that need developed more, but they do have good products. So, check any of those guys out. And the one sticker I don't have, which is kind of funny, because that's why I'm really a part of all this, but it's on my Jeep behind you, a huge sticker on my side glass, but it's Rocky Mountain Adventure Riders, and RMARIDERS.org. Check us out. We have 2 events coming up this year. We have a Silverton, Colorado event, and we have a Moab event. And so far, it looks like most people signing up are doing the dual option, and they're going to come to both events. That seems to be pretty popular. You also save a few bucks. But also note that the money is going back to the trails. Like for Moab, it's going to be Ride with Respect. We're going to donate a minimum of $10,000. I mean, as long as we sell the 100 slots, $10,000 minimum is what we're going to give them. If we sell out the 100 slots for Silverton, the minimum to the Colorado Trail Preservation Alliance will be $10,000. So that's $20,000 total. That's minimum. I mean, if sometimes at these events people start giving you checks or for the auction items or what have you, and then we can raise that much more for these 2 great groups that really do a lot of work. So, when you're out there riding, it's not free to ride. You might think it's free to ride, but these trails are not free. There's a local group, and there's a statewide group, and there's a few different statewide groups. You also have COVCO, and Colorado TPA those are the 2 biggest ones. Stay the Trails, the educational group, they'll do the sound testing and they'll promote staying in the trail. It's totally educational. They're not political at all. But they're good to support too. So really 3 good groups in Colorado you need to support. And the 4th I would say is Rocky Mountain Adventure Riders. And I say that not just because I'm on the board of directors and I'm VP now. It's because we're like the only organization that really has events that raises this much money. I don't know why no one has thought of it. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of paperwork, and there's a huge thanks to the president of our RMAR right now, Matt McCabe, who is able to cross those T's and dot those I's on those government forms to get us the permits for both of those events. And Moab cost a lot of money to run. To do it legally, it costs a lot of money because everyone wants a cut of the pie. You know, they don't care that you're a nonprofit and that money is going to the trail group that's going to help out anyways with those organizations. But the Forest Service wants their cut, the BLM wants their cut, the state wants a piece, and for some strange reason, there's like the schools of Moab, and this is for Moab, own a lot of little sections of land, and you kind of go in and out, and you have to get their approval too, which they pretty much go along with the BLM. You know, and the state's pretty much the same way. They go along with whatever those guys are doing. You know, they all talk. I think there's a fifth group, and I can't remember, but they all talk, and the two big ones are the Forest Service and the Bureau of Land Management. You know, and they want their piece. They want money up front, and they want money based on how many people went over here and rode this trail. How many people went over here? And it's hard to track. And that's another point of TrailTaker, was to be event management. So we can manage your event too, from a TrailTaker aspect. So guys, so that's pretty much a little bit about kind of what I do and how, you know, various things I'm involved in. And, you know, there's a lot more companies that step up. Fortunately, I don't have that much room to put that many stickers on my bike from all the ones that help. I mean, the only one I can think off the top of my head right now, at least that's on this bike, is Extreme Terrain, did the headlight deal. And they've been a supporter of RMAR events also. And yeah, that's basically it. So let's talk about something that's a little bit different, and I kind of find it, now that I look back, funny. But, you know, I used to do tire changes. When I had street bikes, I would do tire changes because I went out and bought a $1,400 Nomar tire changer professional with all the attachments, everything you would need. Because I got sick of, well, I didn't really get sick of, I moved out here and I called up a dealer, and the dealer will go unnamed because they're actually a good dealer. But it's just how they do business out here. We're not open Sunday and we're not open Monday, but I need a new tire on Monday. What the hell? It's during the business week. I guess they did that because of racing or something back in the day. Nowadays, though, being closed Sunday, I don't understand that whole thing. I understand you can't sell vehicles here in Colorado on Sunday, but you could, if you sell other things and other services, you could be open. I'm sorry, guys, my leg's asleep. So it's kind of jumpy. So I went out and ordered a tire changer because I got sick of it. I'm like, I go through tires. I'm riding like 4 days a week, 5 days a week, whatever I wanted on my 2001 Yamaha FC1. So I'm out there riding and wearing out a tire and find out, well, I can't get it changed. The first time I was looked into it, they're not open on Monday. I called up Nomar, ordered a tire changer. Of course, this was the good times, and economy's still decent, and there was really no discount. It was like $1,400 shipped. Now, I even had to go to the center to pick it up because there was no residential delivery. It came on a pallet, literally bolted to a pallet. And knowing that, I took the right wrenches and stuff because I think they warned you or whatever. And I took my toolbox and I had to wrench it off in the parking lot of the UPS, maybe it was FedEx hub, and then loaded it in my vehicle, of course, all by myself. And then that pallet, I don't even know what I did with that. I probably left it there. I probably was like, whatever. But so I'm doing tire changes. I posted up on the local forum. on, hey, I'm doing tire changes, 15, 20 bucks. I don't even remember what I was charging. I think it was like officially 20, but hey, I do it for 15 type deal. But I had done quite a few. Everyone was happy. I think there was a few guys that were also doing them on the forum that were not happy that, hey, here's a guy that's competing with me and he's charging less. Well, I was just hoping to recoup the cost of the machine, or at least part of the cost. And I'll get to that near the end. But so this kid on a Ninja, it was probably a liter. I don't even know if it was 600 or 1,000, but I don't know. I think it was an older bike anyways. But I was selling a used tire. I took off my FC1 because I always like to have fresh tires, and I guess you could call me a tire snob. And I would, have like a perfectly fine tire that has thousands of miles left, and usually I would just end up, taking it to Walmart or whatever and paying to discard it. Well, this kid he needed a tire. I said, well, I have one. I'll just charge you 20 bucks. So me paying somebody, hey, you pay me for a used tire. It has 2,000-3,000 miles left on it. Which for me, that's really not many when every outing was 500 miles. Not many outings were just 100 miles unless I was just running up to my brother-in-law's and home. When I went out on the bike, and did huge loops around Colorado. So, for me, go through 2,000 miles was going to be quick. So kid says, okay, that sounds good. And he goes, well, I'll need it installed. Okay, I'll be nice. You're buying the tire. You're a person off this form, 10 bucks. So $30 total, people. $30. It's a fucking used tire. You can see where I'm going with this. So I tell him, well, you have to bring it in because I don't have a way of taking your rim off your bike, especially a sport bike. You can't put a jack up under there. I couldn't put my Craftsman lift and lift it up. And actually one I could, even though the exhaust went under, there was enough surface area and it was flat that I could lift up and it was fine. Never had a problem. But, their bikes have plastic, sport bikes, I don't want to get involved. So I'm waiting for the kid. I'm in the garage here. I'm, kind of messing around, cleaning up, waiting for him. I hear a bike, and I'm like, oh, really? No way. Sure enough, it's him. He pulls up on his fucking Ninja. I'm like, what the fuck? That's the first thing. He gets off. Of course, I play it nice. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you, blah, 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 shake hands. And I'm like, oh, I thought you wanted the tire installed. He's like, oh, yeah, I do. I'm like, well, I have no way to get it off your bike. He's like, oh, can't we just use a car jack and blah, blah, blah. I've done that before. I'm like, thinking to myself, this is not what I told you. Okay, I'll be the nice guy. Just do it, right? How bad? So he talks me into it. So we bring his bike in, freaking use, I have 2 car jacks. We use 2 car jacks, get it balanced. I'm surprised it didn't fall off. That's what I was worried about, falling off. So somehow we get it up. And of course, he has me do everything. So now I'm physically taking the rear rim tire off the bike, and his rims had never been cleaned. Oh my God, I've never seen a bike that bad. Never been. It's like he just lubed the chain, never cleaned the rear rim at all. So I'm getting fucking dirty, and I have kind of a dirt phobia. I don't like my hands really dirty. I will continually to clean them during working on something. I don't know why, but that's me. I don't know. I just don't like dirty hands. And wearing gloves sometimes you can't really, feel stuff to work on. And I don't know. Gloves bother me. Even the doctor type gloves, the nitrile or whatever, they kind of bother me. But anyways, to get back to the story, I have his tire off. It's all dirty. I get it changed. I use so many rags. Because my whole thing was, even though I'm doing this for a budget, I'm going to return your rim perfectly clean. I always, and I always did this in the past, but most people just a little light road grime or a little bit of grease, you spray on some simple green and just kind of wipe. I mean, I pulled out the freaking WD-40 and it was so thick, I never did perfect. I was like, F this, I'm going through way too many red rags and paper towels, this is not worth it. So I'm like, whatever, it's together. I put it on this bike, and I balanced it too because I had a Nomar balancer. So I balanced the rim because I refused to just put one together and not balance it. That's all part of the package, and I have weights, and I put the weights on, balance. So it's all balanced. Put it back on his bike, and he, in the first thing, well, showing up on the bike was the first oh no, but I kind of overlooked that. The pain part. So I'm standing there, I'm like, yeah. I'm kind of like that at that point because he's not like really responding. Most people would be like, oh, how much do I owe you? And pull out their wallet and pay you. He's just kind of like dilly-dallying, started putting on his gear. I'm like, hey, hey, you still owe me 30. He goes, 30? I thought it was 20. I go, yeah, 20 for the tire and 10 to put it on. And then he's like, well, I don't know if I have 30. And he pulls out pulls out 20, and it's all crinkled up, and he just hands me this crinkled up mess. And that's another like, oh my god, how rude, what the fuck is this? And then he like sifts around and he finds another 10, and it's all crinkled up, and in his hand, and like I have to pull like, okay, yeah, that's 30. And I'm like, dude, I did so much on your bike. Your bike's a mess. Listening to you for the last, because it took so much longer because I had to figure out how to jag his bike up. It took a couple hours, and this really was not worth my time. Whatever, have a nice day. He leaves. 6 months later or something, he goes onto that forum, and he's like, and he starts bitching about how the tire wore out publicly, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I message him, I'm like, what is your problem? And he's like, well, that tire wore out, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this is 6 months later. Dude, it was a used tire. And so because he brought it in the public forum, I went ahead and fucking laid it out in the public forum. I mean, dude, you showed up on your bike when I told you not to. I don't do rims off the bike because I don't have a fucking lift. So I was nice to do that. Your bike's a mess. I didn't make probably anything on doing this at the end because my time is worth more than freaking $30, and I used probably, $10 in fucking shop rags, WD-40, wheel weights, the Nomar goop that you put on the bead and stuff like that. It all adds up. So I probably used $10 worth of supplies. Cleaning your rim, putting on the tire, balancing it, putting it back on your bike. No way was that dealing with you was worth $10 an hour. If I look at it as I was getting $20. No, my time's worth more money. A tire change is really quick. Everyone I had dealt with up till that point just dropped off their fucking tire and was usually like, hey, when will it be done? And I'm like, I'll have it done later. Okay, that's fine, I'll go to work. And they, come back, pick it up, whatever, pay me. One guy was like, hey, you want some beers? It's like, no, that's okay, I don't really drink beer, so no, that's okay. But so many people were just so friendly. I mean, I had a Valkyrie rear rim that it had a plastic valve, it had a 90-degree valve stem with a plastic holder that kind of held it there. So I guess it wouldn't be too wobbly. Never saw one. Fucking thing broke off. It broke on me. So I had to run around town and get the part. He goes, well, do you want me? And I told him, I'm like, oh, I put a new one on. I broke it. My fault. Don't worry about it. He goes, well, you want me to pay you for it? I was like, no, it was only $5. It wasn't a big deal. My fault. I didn't know. Learning process. Now I know. I'll just charge an extra $5 for Valkyrie because most likely they'll break, and that's a dealer that I got the plastic tab from said, yeah, those usually break when we do them. So, they figure that all in their price. So anyways, this kid just tried to bring this up. I mean, come on. 6 months later, you're saying the tire only lasted you a week, and now you're bringing this up? I mean, you're on a sport bike. How did you ride? I don't know how you ride. I might be on an FC1, and I'm a pretty fast rider, and I go through the canyons fast, but I'm not sitting there necessarily taking off like a bat out of hell. Well, I thought I do, but I'm not doing burnouts, or I'm not, I told him there right publicly. I'm like, if you would have brought this up that week that it wore out, I'd have been more than happy to give you $20 back for the tire. And he was like, well, but it costs $30. I'm like, yeah, well, I wasn't going to get back the $10 install and dealing with you, but I would have gave back the $20. Sure. Shit, I probably would have gave the 30 back just because he was an asshole and just to get rid of him. Get out of here. I'm never going to do. And I basically told him that in the form. I never want to talk to you. I never want to see you again. I never want to do business with you in any way. Good luck with your hot dog business. So, and anyone in Colorado Springs might know who that is. I don't even remember the guy's name. Just some kid that has no money, but he's riding a sport bike and bitching about his tires wore out and this and that. It's you should not be on a motorcycle. They are maintenance hogs, especially if you're commuting on them. Well, some more than others, especially sport bikes. You're going to go through your tires if you're riding it. There's maintenance. And one time a friend and I did a spreadsheet, and it came out that the price per mile was a lot higher than a car, just because of the maintenance required, especially going to the dealer. Now, start doing your own stuff, it starts working out a lot better. But if you start doing your own stuff on your car, same deal. It works out good too. So I just thought that was a kind of a funny experience I had. Like I said, most of the people that came to me and brought me tires, and the ones that even hung out and waited, especially when I was like, oh, I'll do it right now. It's like a Sunday. And I said, that's the thing. If I'm not out of town or busy with family stuff, and at the time I didn't have a kid, so family stuff wasn't as much, just, as long as I'm not out with the wife at a movie or eating out or family in town, I'm going to change your tire on a Sunday and Monday. Yeah, I'm just a guy in a garage, but, which I guess you could be like, but you're not insured and this and that, and something could go wrong. I guess so. And so I stopped doing that. And that kid was one reason, but another reason was I got out of sport bikes or street type bikes, and doing this type of bike, doing the tire change, you just use a 5-gallon bucket and you just do it. It's not hard. There's nothing hard about it. Now the bigger adventure bikes, now that might be getting into being more difficult again, but it's not out of the realm of doing it yourself and being able to get the beat on. And I do a lot of work on my bikes nowadays, and really I always kind of have. Just some things with my street bike, I have taken it to the dealer when I first got it. I usually let the dealer do the first maintenance, just so they're happy that they sold the bike to me for a discount, and also that way they can they feel good during the negotiation process, and that way Yamaha, Kawasaki, Honda, whoever it is technically, they're really happy because you did that first one, they know it was done, it was documented, right? But oil changes, they're a breeze. Doing a chain, real easy. Brake pads, real easy. Now, once you start getting into more of the engine, I can understand where people would be pretty timid. And, it's just, you start learning these things though. You start learning about the clutch, and I mean, you start thinking about it, you start understanding how it works, and it's really not that scary. I mean, even though it's a 4-stroke, there's not that much up in there, really, that's that difficult. We all like to think, oh no, this is going to be hard, but it's a little scary. But as the bike gets older too, you start not caring as much. You mess up, which is how it goes. I mean, I did the top end myself on my Gas EC300 2012, and I dug right in. There's some things on that bike that are just stupid where the nuts are placed, and so trying to tighten them where they're located is like, what were they thinking? You know, and how tight should these really be? And I know that when the engine heats up, it's going to expand and this and that. So I guess if it's not leaking coolant, then it must be tight enough. Just little stuff, but you learn it. It's all stuff you learn. You know, it's like learning how to change your air filter for the very first time when you were young. It's a little intimidating. How does this go in? But you learn these things. And you learn to take your time, look and think it through, and say, you know, I could continue to put it in like this, but this doesn't feel right. Let me relook at the directions. Nowadays, let's look at YouTube and see, or heck, let's email the manufacturer and see, and just see where we're at to make sure we are not screwing something up. So, hey guys, thank you for listening to my story. I hope you like this video. Please like, subscribe, and check out my other videos. Have a good one.